It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the two movies of October 15th, 2004. But they are two notable movies, and none notable than the first movie we have here, the film that at that time was considered very controversial, but, is it really? Let's take a look at the satirical, political, puppet animated comedy from the creators of South Park, that is Team America World Police. I mean, obviously, it's definitely not South Park, and that may be both seen as kind of a pro and a con to this movie in particular. But as you can tell, the film features the titular international counterterrorism force who recruits a Broadway actor to assist in saving the world from Kim Jong-un and his coalition of Islamic terrorists and liberal Hollywood actors. And as you can tell, the movie uses a lot of puppetry and miniature effects similar to the style that they used in the TV series Thunderbirds, making this a much better Thunderbirds movie that came out in 2004 than the actual Thunderbirds movie that came out in 2004. Even though Trey Parker and Matt Stone have proven that they were fans of the show in particular. And there was a lot of problems with the movie in general from the production aspects. There was a lot of problems with the puppets, scheduling extremes, and finishing it in time for its release while also having to do the South Park TV show at the time. Which, if you've ever seen the South Park DVD commentaries for Season 8 when this was coming out, they even say in those episodes, like, at the commentaries there, they were really had their crunch time, like, working on the movie, working on the TV show. It's why, honestly, you don't really see a whole lot of movies coming from Trey Parker and Matt Stone anymore, even though we are getting a new movie from them coming out next summer, which I'm definitely looking forward to see what they do there. But this was also a film that came into conflict with the MPAA because it was always going after an NC-17 rating because of one explicit sex scene involving puppets. That is literally true. That's one of the reasons why this film took so long to actually get to theaters, because of those problems. And it's a one little scene too. Like, it's not like a scene that it's not like a big sex scene, but it's just like it's there. And really, when you watch it, it's just like, that's really why this thing had to get an NC-17, got close to an NC-17 rating, honestly. But as far as the movie itself goes, I mean, it is a movie that knows exactly what it is. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as something like South Park, Big Long and Uncut, but you know what? It is very funny, and it works very well to its advantages. I mean, there's a lot of great memorable lines and moments in this movie. You know, all these characters are so over the top and playing the standard Michael Bay-ish type characters. Like this is literally a Michael Bay movie done by puppets, and it's much more compelling than something like Armageddon or Pearl Harbor is. And like it's much funnier, it's much cleverer. Like it's a movie that is well done in a lot of aspects. Granted, there are times when the movie does there are definitely a lot of low points in the movie, like a lot of dull moments, if you will. There's a lot of jokes in there that don't usually work very often. Some of the jokes are kind of overstay their welcome a little bit, but they're very few and far between. It's not a perfect movie by any means, but it's definitely a movie that's not what I would say is on the same level as something like the South Park movie was, which I think the South Park movie has gotten a lot better over time. This movie, I feel like, was made in the perfect time, but as the years have gone on, there's definitely a lot of elements that haven't really held up as much as they did back in the day. And the celebrity parodies there are kind of random at some points. Like, they mentioned some of them in the trailer there, but then there are some in this movie that don't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, why is Danny Glover in the movie for no particular reason? You know, why is who's another one? There was I'm trying to remember who. Like some names in there make sense, like Susan Sarandon, George Clooney, Michael Moore, Alec Baldwin, Sean Penn. Sean Penn literally got so pissed off at them that they literally sent an angry letter to them to tour Iraq with them, and they promoted that used that as a promotional piece for the movie. Which, that's what I like about Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Like, they have the balls to do that type of stuff and not look at this and go like, what is okay, maybe we should step back a little bit. No, power through. Like, that's what made South Park as great of a show as it was throughout the course of its run. And apparently Meryl Streep and Ben Affleck were involved in it. Meryl Streep you can kind of get, but Ben Affleck, then there's some names in here that don't really add to anything in particular ways, like Hans Blick. Like, he's only there to be kind of like he's only there to be killed in the violent way, but like there's a lot of cameos in here that don't really make a whole lot of sense in general. and they just feel like they're there just for the sake of being there. But again, they're not hurting the movie overall, but they feel kind of more pointless in this particular case than they do in something like, you know, than something like a South Park movie. But the film overall is funny. It's just not as funny as something like the South Park movie, which, like I said, has gotten better with age over the course of the 25 years it's been released. This is a good movie, not a great movie. It still has a lot of memorable moments to it, like the song, you know, America, fuck yeah, and some great lines throughout the course of the movie. I mean, one of my favorite quick lines in the movie is when one of the guys is like, you know, the main character of the movie, who's basically Trey Parker doing Randy from South Park, Gary Johnson, like he's dressing up as a terrorist, and he's in the back of his car with the other two terrorists, and the girlfriend in the movie, Kristen Miller's character, Princess from That's My Bush, is able to save him, and then one of the other guys from behind him, is one of the guys working for Team America, gets in front of the car, and he goes like, "Surprise, cuckfags!" Like that's my favorite line in the movie, because it's just out of the blue. It's a little 1 second line, and every time I hear it, I just can't help but laugh out loud at it. I mean, it's just one of the funniest random lines you'll have in a movie like this. And yeah, the movie definitely has a lot of that. Is it a perfect movie? No, it's not a perfect movie, but it's definitely one of the lesser projects these guys have done. That being said, I do still really like the movie a lot. I think it's very funny. I think it does get ridiculous when it needs to. There's a great scene where at the end they have to fight these two panthers from Kim Jong Un and Kim Jong II, and it's actually two black kitty cats. Like, it's literally two black kittens, and it's just like stuff like that is really, really funny stuff, and it's just stuff like that really does make the movie worth it in the end. I think it's a very fun film. Definitely a very flawed film, but still a fun film nonetheless. I do recommend it. I just don't think it will have the same lasting impact that it did when the movie came out 20 years ago, honestly. But then again, I could be wrong on that front. But let's go ahead and move on to the second movie we have here this week, and that is Richard Gere, Jennifer Lopez, and Susan Sarandon in a role that's actually where she's playing a leading actress in it. Shall We Dance? So in this movie, you have Richard Gere, who plays a middle-aged Chicago estate lawyer who loves his family, including his wife, played by Susan Sarandon, but their combined busy schedules of getting caught in a rut after 2 decades of marriage have left their feelings fully unfilled. He takes the L train home every night, and he notices the same young, beautiful, contemplative woman staring out one of the mirrors at Miss Mitzi's dance studio, which specializes in ballroom. He's intrigued enough with her beauty and sadness to go in one evening on his way home, and he learns that she is Paulina, played by Jennifer Lopez, who's one of the instructors and a former world-class ballroom dancer. Because of her, he signs up for beginner group dancing lessons, regardless of them being taught by Miss Mitzi herself and not Paulina. And as time progresses, John gets caught up in the lives of these people at the place he's at, including 2 fellow classmates and 2 of the students' competitive amateurs who are looking for a dance partner. One of them is played by Stanley Tucci, and one person who surprises John, who just wants to be able to show his true colors to the world while hiding under a mask. But as Paulina slowly allows herself to be involved in their lives as well, despite she vowing not to fraternize with the students, John comes to the spoken realization of what he was looking for when he spotted Paulina in the window. Similarly, each of them are at the dance studio is looking for that small piece of life with the right person, Paulina included. And John may not get the happy ending that he wants, as Beverly believes he's having an affair. And how could you not when Richard Gere is going to a place where Jennifer Lopez is the dancer? Which, yeah, you can see where the problems come into play here. This is actually a remake of a 1996 movie by Masayuki Suwa. And it's got a lot of good talent involved with it. Peter Kelsom, who directed Serendipity, and Audrey Wells, who's written a lot of works we've talked about on the show before, most recently Under the Tuscan Sun. This was a movie that came out that didn't get really the proper respect it deserved at the time. It was kind of a film that kind of came under the radar and kind of just came and went. And honestly, it's a movie that I think has gotten a lot better over time. And it works because it's the type of movie I like. It's a movie where a guy is stuck in a rut, and he finds a new pathway in life through just golden chance and golden opportunity. It's kind of like Owen Wilson in Midnight in Paris, which is one of my favorite movies, or Bradley Cooper when he's hanging out with Jennifer Lawrence in The Silver Linings Playbook. Like, you know, his life essentially becomes different is because of this one circumstance, and I think it works very well in this movie. I like the chemistry between Richard Gere and Susan Sarandon. You do believe that they were a good couple, but they have been lost out of love after so many years together. I like the chemistry he has with Jennifer Lopez. This is a great cast. It also includes, as I mentioned, Stanley Tucci, who was absolutely great in the movie. Lisa Ann Walter from Abbott Elementary is great in the movie. You have Anita Gillette, Bobby Cannavale, Omar Miller, Richard Jenkins, Nick Cannon, Maya, Ja Rule. A great cast in general all throughout the course of the movie. I mean, they do a really good job of creating a very good and effective storyline here. One that we've seen done to death so many times before, yes, but the performances, I think, do carry a lot of the load of the movie, and it is a soft, engaging storyline. It's a really good film where you can go into it and get involved with these characters and find a common ground and really find a lot you can associate with your own life with. And I think it's a very nice comfort food movie. It's a movie that really is great on its performances, great on its dance moves. I mean, it's a really good heartfelt film in general. A good comedy. Good dramatic elements all around here. A film that definitely, I feel like, deserves a lot more attention than it does. It's a really good movie, man, especially considering the year Jennifer Lopez was having when, she began the year off in the movie Jersey Girl, and her relationship with Ben Affleck came to an end shortly after that movie came out. And this is just a good movie that really shows that, hey, she's got the acting chops and she can make a movie work with her in it. And it's a really good movie. It's one that I do recommend checking out. It's a criminally underrated film. I really like it a lot. Shall we dance? And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. And the next time we meet, we'll take a look at 4 movies, including Sarah Michelle Gellar in the horror hit The Grudge. Speaking of Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck didn't have a very good way to end the year off, as we finally get to the infamous Surviving Christmas, a Christmas movie that is so important that it's being released before Halloween. It's definitely something that we'll need to delve into, because that is one that we really need to talk about. But we'll also delve into some good stuff too. We'll have Alexander Payne's Sideways, and we'll also have the movie that introduced me to Christian Bale before I saw him in Batman Begins, The Machinist. So we'll take a look at those 4 movies all on the next episode. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So, with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.